everybody, happy holidays. This is my second time trying to record this, if not third. And why I say that is because when I tried to first record this inside the vault, eventually in the Appalachia public test servers release notes, it took about an hour and a half and my system crashed. And then a few errors popped up on the first recording. So here's for the third time in a row. I'm going to skip a few things because I know this is a 2-video piece. And quite honestly, there's a few things as I was going through the few times doing this, and so my voice is starting to go out because of talking so much, because each one has taken at least an hour to almost 2 hours long. So my voice is getting a little rough trying to do this over and over again. And pretty much they're trying to say we are reworking the pool update and so forth. They are changing the name of activities, quite honestly. Events are going to be called activities, this whole renaming. And quite honestly, they done something like this similar, and it just causes more crashes and code glitches. I'm not going to hold my breath. I'll let everyone take a look at this and so forth. I'll leave a link in the description, and I'll try to add chapters of this video because it's a long pain one, and I know at the very bottom of this list here is some good news for doing the drill. I'll just say that. I won't say what it is. I just know there'll be some good news. And I'll try to put it down in the chapters on the good news part. And I'll probably do like my reaction to this. So I'm going to pretty much try to shut up, show what I see. I might have a few comments here and there, but lightly, not like a full review. Going on, let's see here. Activities will now be shown within feature activity list when operating the map alongside the daily ops and public events, making them much easier to find and join. Activities have been given their own unique icon, have adjusted and minimum max levels of enemies that spawn during these activities, provide more challenge and higher level players, and while still staying balanced for lower. Okay. So far, so good. How to start activities. Activities will now operate on a time-based rotation, means several activities such as collision course can no longer be started by approaching the area it takes place in. These are some expansions to the rule, which we'll detail below. Yeah. How does this work? Approximately every 10 minutes, and depending on the availability activities being completed, players can expect a new activity being available chosen randomly. Activities will not be repeated until all have been completed. So what is this, all of them being completed, or do we have to wait once a week? Or is it daily, I should say? I'm not sure. It might be whenever the servers get updated. Enclave activities now require players progress through the main story. Participate now available for all players throughout the new system. Will blast, bots on parade, drop connection. Worry not, members, you can expect to receive additional rewards for your commitment. Okay. Power will still need be active approaching any 3 broken down power plants, which become available on each fresh server or 8 hours after the last repair was completed. Riding shotgun now excludes the time-based rotation pool. Can repeat this activity every 20 minutes upon speaking to Vin. Okay. Reward pools update. All activities and public events now receive updated base reward pools. Unique reward for activity and public events remain in place. Activities will now receive 75 caps, chance of legendary item, regional item schematic, or mod. a chance to receive 1 or 2 modules experience based on player level. Okay. Plug events will now receive 150 caps, 2 legendary items, 3 to 5 legendary models, 3 treasure notes, 1 to 3 improved bait. If Fishman quest is complete, 1 U-Mine map if you have none, and experience based on player level. The U-Mine map has been there since the game started. It's usually found by oh, it's Ash Heap. I'm just going blank because of all the recording. Devil's Pick, I think it was named the location. Going on. Variant player tiles have been added to plugins events. Variant camp tiles have been added to activities. Oh, dear lord. Uninvited guests. Upon completing a certain public events, there will be a chance for a special creature to spawn that has added difficulty and will drop additional rewards for players to enjoy. One of them will be a bunch more challenging 4-star and has some big feet. I know other players have been mentioning Bigfoot. I know another oracle said his name or enemy name should be the Greenfoot. I'm not sure that's still going to be true. We shall find out. It seems he's gone glowing green from all the radiation damage. And that's why I've been saying he's been renamed Green Man. World Loot Update. We're taking the opportunity to make a pass at the updating variation will loot containers. Containers of lockbox boxes found throughout the world have their own loot improved. Chance to receive legendary item depending on the lock difficulty. So if it's a lock 1, it should be getting like a 1-star. If it's a lock 3, it should be a 3-star legendary item. That's how it should be done. Whether they do it or not, we'll find out. U-Mine maps can be now found. Potential season items depending on at challenges. Players will now have a chance to find related items, such as soap, to help with the daily and weekly goals. So, if you have any like a daily goal that requires, say, aluminum, adhesive, or anything like that, you're going to get more of a chance with that loot box. I hate to say. I don't understand why, but yeah. Okay. Ammo crates will now provide players with context ammo based on the current weapon of choice. When assumption and I don't know. I've been getting the same ammo that I'm using. Why are they trying to change it? U-Mine mags now have improved loot depending on their level and map used. Active Lucky Strike. No issue with the U-Mine maps can be consumed even if the player has a quest active. Okay, that sounds more of a glitch. Low addressing. Continuing on. Balancing paths on active and public events. Yeah. Jailbreak, Dogwood. Hordes have been disabled. These 3 events are going to take much more time to effort to bring up to quality. We have like to make discussion to disable them for now. Known issue. Some of the rare occasions we still seeing hordes start up and currently investigating this behavior. If you encounter this, we'll appreciate any information on and when you seeing it. Okay. I'm recording this on December 18th. If I remember correctly, this update's having on January 5th. Approximately 2 weeks from now. I'm going to say that multiple times throughout this video. 2 weeks from now, we're going to be getting this halfway update. Okay. Always vigilant. Additional legendary enemies can spawn. Overall timer has been reduced to 3 minutes. Robobot health has been decreased. I have not seen this event lately. I'm trying to remember it. I think I had done it when the game came back on about over a year ago. AWOL Ornaments. That's by Wobcob, by the Mire and Cranberry Bog in between. You'll find the General's Buffet to the left of it, or I should say west of it. But anyway, I'm just giving you like an ideal location where this event should be happening. Players can now begin active and recall beacon immediately after talking to Sergeant Gusty. We increase the variant bots will appear during the waves. Sentry bot will now be guaranteed legendary enemy. Okay. Back on the beat, that's in Morgantown. Additional loot has been added to the safe rooms. Enemy waves have been adjusted, and Stronghold move speed has been increased, and his health decreased. Known issue: Steelheart may become stuck on rubble at second tonal. Yeah, it takes him about a good 5 minutes to start up again, and I think they just reduced his quest time too. So, and loot, yeah, don't get me started. I've been seeing just maybe 1 or 2 stim packs and some pre-roll money. That's it. BattleBot. Allow time between card swipes has been increased from 4 seconds to 10. Sentry Bot will now spawn as legendary. Main door is no longer automatically open, so if it doesn't open, it may relock again, if honestly. Beast of Bourbon. Additional legendary enemies can spawn. The Ogre is now always 3-star legendary enemy and has overall strength of been increased. As we already increased it before, and we all been buffed. I mean, nerfed, I should say, the players. Okay. Bots on parade. Additional legendary enemies can be spawned. Amount of time required to repair seekers has been reduced. I'm guessing that's the event time has been reduced, I'm guessing. Breach and clear. The locked home right boxes now have a chance to drop a legendary item and new mine map. Allow time to start the activity is reduced from 60 to 5 minutes. So it spawns into the Appalachia, and now instead of having a whole hour to get to it, you only have 5 minutes to spawn into the location and start it up. What could go wrong? Reduce the collection timer from 45 seconds to 30 seconds. And I know why they're doing this. It's down in the armor piece section of the chapter. You'll see later on, but yeah. Okay. Campfire Tales. Additional legendary enemies can spawn. Players now receive tadpole badges if they own up possum scouts, or possum badges if they are upward scouts. Are they starting a 3rd scout unit? That's questionable. I get the feeling we're going to see a new scout area, and we might have we have the small backpack, we have the standard. Are we going to get the large backpack next? Is my next question. And that might be going back to why some things are coming up. And I'll, like I said, do a second review video of this. Senses violence. Additional legendary enemies can spawn. Senses taker can no longer be crippled by enemies. Increase the senses taker movement speed and health. Reduce the length and activity from 5 minutes to 4. Collision course. Additional legendary enemies can spawn. Reduce the overall time of this activity by 2.5 minutes. Okay. So that means for let's see, the holiday squish is still going to be going on during this time. Come January 5th, so we have that into what, January 18th, 19th, if I remember correctly. Okay, so we do have some time to test this out. And I don't mean the PTS, I mean for all the players when this hits. Dangerous pastimes, this is in Skyline Valley. Additional legendary enemies who spawn. Balance adjustments for the enemies. That's all lost. Oh, great. Death Blossoms. Reduce overall duration of waiting times. Increase the health of the course flowers. Mole rats have been replaced with cultists. Huh? When did we ever have mole rats? I know we had floaters, but no, I haven't seen any mole rats by the Susan's house. That's in between the Cranberry Bog and Skyline Valley. Health bars have been added to display status of each flower. Oh, great, so we can burn the flowers down. Great. It's the flowers I'm talking about, all the ones we collect at stage 1. Dish guess. I always have a hard time pronouncing that. Additional legendary enemies can be spawned. Place settings centerpiece now have a glowing visual suffix, making them easier to spot. That's for the plates and the pots, flowers that we need to put down the tables. Quest targets, the robot wait staff has been adjusted. Known issue, we notice that players are being counted as undesirables for this event and are investigating a fix. Known issue, does that gas may not spawn enough legendary enemies. Do Bethesda, do you know if you attack any of the wait staff, you also become an enemy of White Springs? That is a known fact. If any of your teammates do it, you also become an enemy of White Springs. How about fixing that issue? I've been seeing that since I came back to the game, and it still is happening. Drop connection. Additional legendary enemies can spawn. New rewards can now appear. And final cash drop. Huh? Oh, do we have more than one cash drop and drop connection? Okay. Eviction notice. Reduce amount of legendary enemies that can spawn. Dev comment. This has historically been one of the more lucrative events for obtaining legendary items, and we feel improvements made across other public events, activities, and world loot will more than balance this out. Quest markers have been added for meat bags, finally, or if it does happen, I should say. Balance adjustments for enemies. Feed the people. Additional legendary enemies can spawn. Photo soil. Farm hands supervisors now all grant legendary enemies. Okay, that's by just west of Flatwoods, and that's in the forest region. Fly swatter increase the strength of the footerbot. That's usually flies by Nugul, as I see. Free range. Additional legendary enemies can spawn. Bomb will no longer attempt to attack. Sasquatch will now always be a legendary enemy and has strength increased. Okay. I'm still going to try to finish this. I only need 1 or 2 more mods of my Sasquatch staff, and then I'm pretty much done with the free range. Heart of the Swamp. Additional legendary enemies can spawn. Adjust of the difficulty of the Griffin monster. Irradiation and Fear. Additional legendary enemies can spawn. Quest trackers have been added to the enemies. It's a trap. Scorch beasts now always spawn as a legendary enemy. Known issue speaker intercom for the iteration does not have proper effect on it, making it sound too clean. We'll be looking to correct this. Why? Okay. I know 5 locations of It's a Trap. 2 are in Cranberry Bog, 2 in the mire, and I think 1's in the forest. Leading the pack. No longer triggers a horde upon completion. Instead, new objective to hunt the alpha wolf has been added. This activity after defeating the pack leaders. Line in the sand. Adjust the spawn timers, allowing enemies to spawn more often. Enemies should no longer spawn outside the event radius. Pathing in the Scorch has been improved. We'll see it when we believe it. That's what I feel like saying at this point. Load bearing. Adjust the reward available for the kiosks. And we'll see what rewards are talking about in the armor section. Manhunt. Griffin Dam has been adjusted to make this feel more like a infiltration. Mad Dog Malone health has been and damage has been increased. Mad Dog Malone guards will now spawn as legendary. I have not seen Manhunt active the past year. I think I only seen it about once over a year ago. So maybe they're adding it back in. I'm not sure. If anyone has been dealing with this, okay, great. I'm not sure what rewards we'll be getting. Monster Mash. Additional legendary enemies can spawn. Adjust the reward available in the candy machine. Fix an issue causing Monster Mash to appear to stuck on character. And what that means is it sometimes spawns onto a ghoul. Because Monster Mash, as I played it the one time on Halloween, all I got was ghouls trying to attack me. And if you have any weapon that has anti-ghoul on it, you'll be pretty much cleaning them out. Moonshine Jamboree. Ghouls have been replaced with floaters. Okay, I know we just got done with a mutation event just a few days ago, but if they ever put resistance on Moonshine Jamboree after this update, that means the only way to kill the floaters is jumping up and trying to hit them. If they float too high up and we can't jump to them, guess what? It'll be just like another Scorched Beast. And I can see a lot of players angry with that. Most Wanted. Reduce the number of buckaroos needed to 500. If defeated, the Golem Varmint will now provide 500 caps and a random legendary item. I believe he only gives you like 50 or 100 buckaroos right now before the update. Nuka Points payout has been increased to 7,500. Additional legendary enemies can spawn. One Violent Night, additional, enemies increase strength of Night Stalker. And you get more stuff if you attack Night Stalker if you use fist weapons. Path to Enlightenment, additional enemies. Cultists have been added to the attack waves. So we'll have cultists and rad toads to contend with. But I'm pretty sure the cultists do not drop any bio fluid. But we will have a reduced required amount of bio needed to complete from 50 to 30. Patrol duty. More enemies, yeah. I'm not sure about this one. I've never seen it lately. So I don't even know where it usually spawns at. Same with Project Beanstalk. And I'm not even sure where the permanent bot JD7E is at. Project Paradise. Adjust the level of fire for creatures that oppose pharmaceutical. Reduce requirement of collect each habit to level the friendly creatures. That'll be nice because I know new players don't even know to collect the toxic goo, which you need, 30 of. So I'm hoping it's about, 20 to get this done. Or maybe 15. That'd be even better. Lighting shotgun, more loot has been added along the path of this event. Bomb and health has been balanced. Saving sound, increase the strength of the Blue Devil. That's all we need. Great. Spin the wheel. Additional legendary enemies can spawn. Increase the health of status. Burn timer has been adjusted 30 seconds to 45. Same as earlier. Source air. This one, if you're ever trying to get any of the ultrasight weapons, like I believe it's ultrasight gun, laser gun, I should say, and ultrasight Gatling gun. That's how you get it, is with a surface air quest. Repairing the turret now only costs 1 steel, 1 gear, 1 oil, and circuit. I now know, just like I think it was a few hours ago, it was 4 each. We did reduce the amount of overall time to 3 minutes instead of 5. Increase the amount of enemies, so that'll be good because if you're doing it with a holiday scorch, you can actually get more prizes. Great, almost done. Tea time. Additional legendary enemies can now spawn. Reduce overall time. Test your metal. Defend. Defeating the golden item now provides 500 caps and a ready legendary item. Reduce the start timer of every 5 minutes. Reduce overall time. It's a lot of reducing I'm seeing. Tunnel of Love. Additional legendary enemies can now spawn. More nuke points. Ultrawative Fever. No. Mole rats have been added to enemy waves. And reduce the health of the extractors. You know we have Holy Fire, right? I converted a Nuka Zapper into like a holy water, and it has medics on it. So all I gotta do is squirt them with holy water, as I call it, and I can heal them. That's what I done with my Thirst Zapper. There's a bunch of stuff here with the Pip-Poy. They're claiming they're gonna be increasing speed and so forth and performance. This here, I'm pretty sure the recipe book and so forth, aren't they already in the notes tab? Scribble text boxes. I'm not really sure if this is going to come in play. We have 2 weeks, and they're hoping all this works out perfectly. I'm not sure. I'm actually going to wait to see if any of the test server people have anything to show within the next week or two before all this stuff comes live. We're asking for, what, a week best before Christmas hits? We have the holidays coming. This is really short notice, if you ask me. And a lot of these Pip-Poy issues, I'm mostly fine with. I think with Xbox and PC, I only seen a few players have a few of these issues before. I mean, I've seen the item stacking, and that's quite annoying. And especially when it destroys all my pieces. Seasonal visual improvements. This one, I'm not even gonna bother saying it again 3 times in a row. All this is saying we're gonna put your tickets count, and we're gonna have a little blue icon appear by your side of your gameplay window, and it will pop up every time you hit a rank and tell you spend your tickets, spend your tickets. I don't care. I don't need a little blue icon. I can just play the game as is. Okay. Like I said, I'm not going to bother reading this over again. Just if you want to pause the video or go to the description and click the link to read it yourself, be my guest. I'm, as you can tell, losing my voice. Vanity lights for photo mode. Vanity lights additional QL feature for photo mode, letting the player character, selecting lighting styles, and changing the intensity of the player tab. This enhances your images, allowing pictures to be taken easier during nighttime hours or integrities. Pretty much you go into the photo mode, select the player tab, choose one of the 5 templates, and adjust your intensity slider for each one. Ah, good lord. Okay. Armor update. To kick things off, all armor now weighs 50% less when in your stash. We want storing items in the stash to be an ideal place to keep spare items. This may apply to weapons and other types of items in the future, but for right now we're exclusively doing this for armor in the stash. The weight of the armor now power in your inventory has now been adjusted as well. As you're reading through the rest of the changes below, please keep in mind our goal with this update. This seems more like when we do a new season update, not a halfway update, if you ask me. And a prime example is the Vulcan armor being the torso, was it 25, 28 pounds? So if that's being cut in half, that'll be 14 pounds. Still, I would still put it on a power chassis to reduce the weight from wherever it is at either 28 to 14 and have the full set just weighing 10 pounds. Now they're saying that chassis is going to reduce from 10 to 5, which in a way would be nice too. Oh, dear lord. Providing a wider range of available armor choices based on your build and what you're fighting, and add more flexibility on how you decide modify your armor to cover your needs. Allow for more strategious balance adjustments, better difficulty tuning, all pleasant and feature content. Okay. You can find all the changes to armor and related mods listed below. We changed acquire use for calculating damage for put more emphasis on armor rating. Damage taken now reduced by first by your armor, and by then your special damage reduce effects. Side effect change is your armor will no longer break faster when you have special damage reduction effects. Okay. All special damage reduce effect from damage source such as minus 15% damage from robots now multiplied together rather than added. Huh? Okay. And I think what they mean is instead of being 15 plus a full set to 75 minus for robots, it's going to be straight on through 15 and so on, which I do not agree with. If that's what it happens to be, I'm hoping it's multiplied, like true multiplier, okay, and not just straight through. Armor now have more elemental resistance options. Okay. Brace armor mods have been redesigned to give 5% blocking damage reduction. I honestly don't care about blocking. Mainly because I have more difficulty just using it, and time because of either I didn't press it fast enough or there was a delay with the server. It's more issue to try using it. All UnderArmor now share a new mod slot that contains with special stat bonuses is gained. This existing line mods no longer grant any special stat. So everything we've done when the game first came out, we now have to reacquire, it feels like. And if that's true, I'm going to be really pissed because that's a mod UnderArmor that I had since I started the game, and now it's being taken away. And this list here is where you can find which one's being changed, and so forth. Oh, this is going to be so many headaches. And I'm sorry I'm having a hard time pronouncing stuff as the night goes on. Okay. Standard style, crisp. I'm not really going to go through this all the way. I'm just going to say the main changes. If you're doing, say, the scoreboard, the main one you want to try and get a hold of is the Vault style because of the +5 intelligence. And you can get that at Foundation. If you're a ghoul and you want that extra charisma, you want the casual stuff with +5, and that's a nuke boss event. So I'm guessing if that's Scorch Earth, that's nuke roll when you nuke that one mine. That's also like the Skyline Valley when we deal with the guarding robots and in Savage Divine. I'm not sure if it means all nuke bosses, but it might mean a few. I hope some of us veterans are going to get something out of this because it seems like we're being told to redo our stuff all over again. Okay. Default legendary mods and unique. Okay. Update default legendary mods and added unique effects to several armors. What could go wrong? Tail Warner, metal armor. Okay, so it's available from the load bearing terminal. So we have a whole bunch of say coins for the load bearing events from now to the update. You might be able to have an easier time getting hunters, perception, or true hikers from this particular piece of armor, which is a metal piece. I'm I'm having a hard time now speaking from trying to attempt to record this 3 times in a row. But I'm just going to point out a few things here and there. One's what type of legendary mods, one's the unique effect, like throwing, and the other is where you can get it. And I think, let's see, we have silver lining leather, and that's with the breach and clear. And scouts now drops at Enclave events. I'm kind of glad they're not just making so we can't like doing this all. It's just for unique pieces of armor we're just going to be seeing coming in. But I'm not sure we can trade them because some of these are non-tradable. Now, a few, let's see, new ones, like I think it's what this one, Last Stand Brotherhood Recon Armor has a reflex, and that's from drops on nuke wall on the nuke boss. Okay. Billowwax Sacred Service Armor that help elements, and that is the Stone Goliathan nuke boss at Skyline Valley. Kill. I'm not seeing anything unique. Besides the fact it'll be dropped only at Meat Week. So that's what, 2 times a year? And the Raider Armor Rage Painkiller. Unique effect. Deal 1 plus damage when hit and take 1 plus damage. Up to 100%. Stacks expire over time when not taking damage. Okay, so if you take, say you have an enemy like the Guardian shooting you up and causing you to take 100% damage, that means you put out 100% more damage to it. And that's only from the Savage Divine of the Oral nuke boss. So, yeah. Power armor, pretty much everything been saying up above about the power armor being reduced and so forth. The only thing I have to say is instead of when your power armor breaks, the weight is reduced. Now they're saying the weight is going to be on there indefinitely. Radiation. Nuke zones will deal more radiation damage to those in power armor. Why? How about those in out of power armor don't have a complete full set on? If you have a full set on, don't make more damage on us. Come on. And they're asking us to use Red X. I don't use Red X because it makes addiction easier to come on. The damage is not immediate, but if you should still expect to have time to react and slowly cutting a nuke zone while you're in power, I can foresee you go into Scorched Earth, you come into the nuke zone, and instant death. You constantly are in instant death and cannot get out until your game crashes. I can foresee that happening. I'll say more in my second video about this. It's easiest to leverage the mod and regular armor alongside items like Red X, reduce your incoming radiation damage. Power armor plus hazmat suit options is still the best option to survive and test maximum radiation. No, you can't have both of them on. I tried that before. It doesn't work. You usually have either the power armor or you have the hazmat suit, not both. I'm not sure if that's true for PC or Xbox, but on PlayStation, we do not have both of them being able to be equipped. Hazmat suits now have a base spread of resistance rather than a radiation resistance. Oh, dear Lord. Legendary mods, mutations change from 10% APO per mutation to 5%. So they just nerfed it. It looks like. Okay. Bowstring changed to 10% reduction when HP is lower. 5% is now 10%. That's might be a buff. Vanguards up to 10%. Huh? Okay. Overuse lower the damage reduction from 6 to 4, so they nerfed it. Aristocrats changed up to 10% damage reflection based on the cap's held 40k equal 10%. So they want you at max cap just for a reflection that may not happen. And as soon as you go one cap low, you no longer have that reflection happening. If you have a full set, that's 50%. I get that, but to be at max cap all the time for this one particular perk, no thank you. Elementus. I've been hearing comments about this not being that great. It's the one that's just been added to the Burning Springs. It's only 5% to all resistance, and they're trying to upgrade it to 25. Honestly, upgrade it to 50. Honestly, because 25 is just barely cutting when you're upgrading, increasing all the damage all around us, hitting us. Okay. Warming, fireproof, hazmat, poison mods. Increase resistance values from 25 to 50. Defenders. We design 40% chance automatic blocking for weapons and Change automatic blocks. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, my voice is really stronger out. Cavalry weapons renamed to blocker damage reduction. For this effect, a split applies to block damage now. Cavalry armor mod. Shouldn't you also rename that too to blocker armor mod? Change to 10% damage taken while sprinting. Wasn't it 15? So they're nerfing that too. Okay. Raspu. This effect now especially reflects block damage and works with the new auto block effect. Okay. Lightweight, at first I thought it was off, but this one now available for armor and power armor reduces the item weight by 50%. So if they're already being reduced by 50, I don't know. It originally was being 90% reduced, so they're nerfing this from 90 to 50. So I don't know. It's more complicated than I want to think about, honestly. Weightless renamed to heavy weight. This mod now grants up to 10% damage reduction the closer to 100% carry weight you are. So if you're overweight, I wonder if we get extra damage. And I remember the one player said we get, what was it, 35,000 is the max limit of carrying anything on you before the game says you can't pick anything up. What are they doing with perks again? Okay, legendary perks no longer require perk coins to unequipped. That's really helpful. Remove the standard frame perk. Okay. Remove the portable power perk. Dev note, players will now be granted perks coins any for removed perks they have. Please note that this exchange will not be for the first iteration of the PTS. Okay, so they're removing sturdy frame and portable power perk. Isn't that the intelligent perk where we get extra fusion power? It just shows the fact I don't really use it, but still. Blocker now reduces damage from block attacks. Rank 1, 50. Okay, they haven't really. They have a typo. Rank 1, 15%. Rank 2, 20. And rank 3, 25. Honestly, you just need the rank 1 and just hope for the best. Fireproof. Renamed to Handy. That's pretty much going back to the 2-star legendary effect that has the same thing. Remove the fire damage reduction. Effect takes 50% per perk rank, less damage from explosions. Definitely have added many new sources of fire resistance and felt this perk was better suited for single effect. Honestly, they could have left it on, because any more explosion damage is now still carrying fire damage to it, or any type of elemental. It sounds like they want us to be using Aegis. Creatures or enemies. Some strong enemies' ongoing damage has been reduced. Read bosses, etc. I highly doubt that. I'll see when it happens. Some enemies' poison, fire, cryo damage has been increased a bit, account for the players having much easier access to these resistance. Okay. Weapons. Cursed weapons now be modified in legendary crafting now. I'm pretty sure in the last season we could do that. Plasma caster. New mods being added. Short scoop, split barrel, automatic barrel, boning receiver. The sniper barrel now has redesigned to deal 4 more damage at a cost of spending more ammo per shot. Per shot, I should say. Sorry. Long barrel has been redesigned into a single dish barrel, which now adds rad damage. That could be helpful with ghouls. I can see someone just putting it down and adding more rad damage to themselves to get the secondary health bar up. Additional new legendary effects. Some unique weapons. This does not affect existing items. Sever on Rest. Assassin's Eternal Swift. Increase unique AP bonus points from 10 to 50. Perfect Storm. Quad Hitmans and Nibble. Black Diamond. Anti-armor, Rasper, and String bonus damage. Bonus choir damage. Okay. Progress Storm, I believe, is from that Miss Nanny in the Willow's Park. I got one with my ghoul, and that is a story from when the game first came out. So I'm guessing now it's not going to change over with the one I have existing on my ghoul character. So it won't get any of these changes. I'll have to start a whole new character just to get it. Same with the Black Diamond. That came from a reward from Top of the Wall in the main quest line. But yeah. Moving on. All various changes have been arriving in the next major patch, which currently is scheduled to arrive in January the 5th. Add Juggernauts and Steady legendary mods to default mods. This does not affect existing items. Increase the unique effect from 10 HP to plus 50 HP. Okay. Gameplay. Hopefully increasing movement speed. Cap from 120 to 150. Default amount of damage reduced when blocking attacks. 100 to 60. Ultrasight Minor. Okay, this is something we need to know. The Mole Minor Stalkers now deal significant amount of physical damage, and it inflicts daily bleeding instead of dealing a killing blow. That'll be nice. Hopefully we get more of a chance to get through the drill. Hopefully. Sorry. Players have 9% damage reduction against their own attacks. I think that's because sometimes the grenades fall back against them when they throw more than one. That's what they're talking about. Workbench. Arrange the arrow almost in light, sturdy, and heavy categories. Okay. You are unique effects in the items now take priority over 1 star in the Pip-Poy item card. Huh? I'm hoping I get some new footage about how players are on the PC are liking this. So far out of all this, I'm only seeing a few things, but I can say one thing for sure. It feels like on the Pip-Poy update, I'm hoping it doesn't turn out like a PC blue screen, where we get the Pip-Poy, and all we see is the Pip-Poy trying to start up. And that'll be one heck of a issue. Only thing I can say is, say January 3rd, before this update hits, and they try to take the servers down, say January 4th, either take pictures of your inventory lightly, or if you have the capability of, record your inventory, say your stash boxes, or what you have on your inventory in your Pip-Poy. That's the only tip I can say. Otherwise, thanks for watching. And yes, I will be doing a second video of this. So until next time, happy holidays and stay safe, everyone.